Shigure just released a new MV and it slaps. It's just so good, the color scheme is perfect, the animation is buttery smooth, the designs are sleek, the vibe is really fun, and also the song is a banger and a half, I just love it. The animator released a blog about how they made it. Apparently the whole thing, start from finish, was done in Blender, from the base animation to compositing and apparently even the typography. So let's try animating it ourselves and see what we can learn. So here's the thing. I haven't actually planned anything. Let's figure it out together. Full disclosure, this isn't meant to be a follow-along tutorial. I'm figuring it out as we go along. Also, this is my own technique that I have developed. It's not literally popreq's workflow. So we're going to recreate this shot in particular. There's a variety of techniques here and the camera is relatively static. Should be a good jumping off point. We're gonna start by typing the text and separating each letter into its own object. How does one do that, you may ask? Well, since we know that the text is gonna be this and we're not gonna change it again, let's just convert it to mesh. And we're gonna boop, separate by loose parts. Yeah, I think it's fine. And this is also how I animate like per radical, quote unquote. Because well, with the way most fonts work, it just naturally separates every radical. But we're not going to do that. We are going to animate per letter. So, and let's just join everything. That was slightly tedious, but we have everything. I mean, hey, it works. Also, I'm gonna set origin to geometry so that the origin point makes sense. Okay, now we can finally position each letter. I wasn't able to find the font they're using. I'm 50% sure they drew it themselves, so it's not gonna be pixel perfect. We're going for vibes here. Alright, all the letters are in place. Time to animate. Let's start by analyzing each letter frame by frame to see what they're actually doing. The two kanjis at the start, Yowai and Q, starts off as this big flickering outline versions of themselves. They flicker between outline and filled, and the Yowai kanji has flickering thickness. Okay, so remember the thing I said about me, setting all this to mesh? Yeah, it come to bite me in the ass now. I don't know how to get the outlines. Oh, this is gonna be terrible. Oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to select every edge. I'm not gonna do that. Can I convert this back to curve? Yes, I could. Okay, I don't have to kill myself. Okay, good. To control its visibility, I created a dead simple geometry node setup, like literally one node, just a delete node as a modifier. In hindsight, this isn't exactly the fastest way to do it. I abandoned this idea midway through the project and just scaled the thing down to 0. Scale up, scale down. Converting it to a curve makes it a lot more flexible. I could control if I want the outline or not. I could control the thickness by changing the bevel. It's great. Curves are great. I love curves. Also, reminder that you can sometimes animate the drop-down values too. The Kara starts into place, but I want to slide them to the right instead. I have free will, I can just do things. The Migaita is similar to the previous two kanjis. For Ude to Sensu is, the text shrinks into place censored by each character, increases the spacing a line from the left, flickering between outline and filled, and the is just slides to the right on its own. Slight problem, each letter is its own object. So if I want to change the fill mode, I had to change it manually for every letter. I tried combining it into one curve again, but it just doesn't work. Wait, how do you change multiple of these? This is slightly harder than I thought it would be. Hang on, let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. No need to panic. So here's a trick I learned. Select multiple of your objects, make sure they're similar. You press Alt. When you hold Alt, all of them change all at once for like similar settings. Why is this a hidden feature? I don't know. This app has so many interesting things in it. Like last time, we can animate the fill setting and also the scale transform, etc, etc. The Sokoi Roja is easy. They just scaled up with a bounce effect. We can easily replicate this by setting the curve setting to elastic. I selected everything, keyframed it all at once with auto keyframes, and just... So I'm gonna time this to be staggered. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna select the next letters, offset that by like 2 frames, select the next 2, select that by 2 frames, select the rest, and by 2 frames, select the rest. Surprisingly, this doesn't take that long in the grand scheme of things. For just 5 letters, setting up a geometry node setup to do this is just wildly inefficient, unless you're doing a whole paragraph. The uttene balances in a similar way to the sokoiroja, but I have free will. I can just slide them to the right. Very simple. Similar technique were used to stagger the animation to sync up with Ui-sensei's singing. Also, I scaled it down to 0 to hide the thing since animating the delete modifier is surprisingly tedious. The other two things here, the stamp kanji and the hiyaw kanji just kinda keyframe into place. Just auto keyframe, grab rotate scale and set the easing mode to exponential because it looks snappy and lively, and also that's the easing mode for basically every single thing here. That said, making the rounded rectangle for the U stamp is actually kinda interesting. Pro tip, add a plane, add a bevel to it, set it to vertex, now you have a rounded rectangle. Next, add a wireframe modifier and there you go, simple adjustable outline rounded rectangle. Oh no, I made a mistake, oh god, oh no, what did I do, oh no, what the hell. And with that, the text animation is done. There's two things in this shot that I would categorize as extra flourish. These two stars above Sān-Z and the two flashing light thingies. These seem really hard to make, right? Well, the two stars I just kinda traced by basic modeling. You can just extrude stuff, you know. Pro tip, use proportional editing set to connected only. This way, only the stuff connected from your selected thing is affected. I did a similar thing to the other star. Now the flashes. These look intimidating. Let's break it down. Let's start with the middle solid circle. It appears as big, scales down, flickers, scales down to 0. I started by just keyframing it like that and setting the easing to exponential in or out depending on where it is. Next is what I would call the ripple. The thing grows in size over time, thickens and thinnens, is that a word? Over time. This is actually my favorite effect to make. It's really simple and it looks really nice. Start with the curved circle, animate it scaling up, and animate the bevel depth. Start with 0, keyframe it again at your desired thickness, and set it back down to 0. That's the bulk of it done. The two lines are just really thin and long rhombuses with animated scale. I made it flicker a bit in my version because I have free will. I then parent this all into an empty so that I can move them around, duplicate it, use it as the other sparkle thing, and offset the timings a bit, and that's it. Let's finish off by adding some more sauce. In the original, the text has this gradient dither noise texture pattern thing. Here's what I did. Okay, so the noise texture connects to the window because when we move the text, as you can see, the noise doesn't move with it. I actually noticed that when I watched the MV, the noise doesn't move with the text. And that's because it's supposed to be a separate layer. That's an artistic choice. So we're gonna respect that. We're gonna try recreating that as well. Some color ramp, some math node to control the noise with the gradient, and then a mix color. I should have used transparency, but I can't be bothered. There you go. Oh my god. Oh, that looks sick. I think that's the missing piece. Wait, I just remembered. The weird flashing effects. Yeah, no, the flashing effect doesn't need that. Oh well, I like the crescent thing though. That looks sick. That's not what we want though. So replace, put back our mission, delete all this, link materials back. There we go. Also, again, because I could, I've decided to also replicate the wave effect thing. Literally just an array modifier, set it to merge, and a subdivision modifier. Oh, and also I'll reuse the same textured gradient material as the text, with some adjustments. And with that, after some more tiny adjustments, it's done! And there you go! A close enough, similar vibes, made in 3 hours, bought from Temu version of this shot, animated by me. While I'm no popreq from Hurray, I think I still learned a lot. Maybe a few new techniques too, especially the outline fill flicker thing. When most people ask me how I do most of my animations, the truth is it's mostly just basic keyframes, nothing fancy. I mean, you could go fancy with shape key shaders and geometry nodes, but trust me when I say you can go a long way with just transforms. I don't think I have suggestions for specifically 2D text motion graphic tutorials. Best I can suggest is Ducky 3D. I'll say just dive into this if you want to try making 2D motion graphics. There's a lot you can do with just GRS and basic keyframing. For the original though, it has so many fun things in it. The fisheye geometry node setup for some reason, combining puppet animation with smooth 3D animation, all in Blender mind you. It's really well done. It's definitely way beyond what I can do. Shout out to the Hurray team once more. I probably won't do detailed step-by-step tutorials, bloody hell there's already too many tutorial channels, but I hope this overview gives you a vague idea of how I normally do things. Maybe one day Popreq-sama would notice me.